Hello, everybody. I am getting started. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's Monday. I'm not usually live Monday, but I am today. Come on, me. Go live, me. Go live, me. Hello. Come on. I think we're live everywhere. I don't know. Let's see. YouTube seems to be good. Twitch seems to be good. I don't know if these are working, but we'll try it anyway. Okay, everything seems to be good. Let's just see if I can see my TikTok. I want to make sure that the lighting is okay because I am streaming from... Come on, load up. There we go. I'm streaming from a little bit blurry, but I think it's just blurry because of settings. I don't think it's the camera. Anyway, what was I gonna say I'm streaming from? I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, we're live today. I'm not normally live Mondays, but I'm live today mainly because I have a really long night tonight. I have to do some extra stuff at work, which means I'm going to be at work way later than expected. So I decided to stream today instead of tomorrow. That way I don't miss the stream because there's a good chance I'm going to be getting home at something like 4 or 5 in the morning. And by the time, you know, I get dressed or undressed and, you know, wash my face, brush my teeth, all that kind of stuff, it's going to be closer to 6 in the morning by the time I go to sleep. And in order to stream it around this time, I have to be up at around 10:30, so that would give me like 4.5 hours to sleep, if that. And that's saying that I like fall asleep the second I put my head down, which probably wouldn't happen. So I decided I would stream today in order to at least have that opportunity to kind of, you know, not miss a stream. The next night will also be a really late night, but I don't stream Wednesdays, so I'm really hoping that should be it. Wednesday I'm supposed to help my brother as well. But then I'm off all day Thursday, so streaming shouldn't be such a huge deal, but we'll see what happens. It's up in the air, but as it stands right now, I am planning to continue with the streams as normal, just maybe not tomorrow. Unless by some fluke we get home early, then we'll be good, but if we don't get home early, then I'm absolutely not going to be streaming tomorrow. But I'm banking on not streaming tomorrow just because it's probably going to be a really late night. Outside of that, there's not really much else going on. I am just continuing with Minecraft. We're going to continue playing on my base. I'm going to start building farms today because we cleared a big chunk of land last week. So I'm going to start building my farms. I'm just going to build like a basic wheat farm, semi-automatic wheat farm, and depending on how long it takes, I may try to build an automatic cow farm. That one's a bit harder to do. I don't remember the exact layout, but I do have all the materials, so I should be fine. Hello, Merle. How are you? Welcome. I hope you're doing okay. I love this mug. It's my logo, but I hate it because I always hold it like this, and the logo's never there. I mean, today it's not so bad, actually. I don't know. I guess because my camera's usually on that side. That's probably why. Oh no, why, Merle? I'm hoping it's like school stress and not like a serious life-changing event type of stress. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say, so that's pretty much it, really. So I guess we'll get started. Let me stop this music here and unmute this. There we go, we got some music, and then go to the thing so you can actually see it. Yeah, you can see it now. Cool. I'm so stressed. I have so much to do for school, and no one has their stuff. Oh, I hate group projects so much. I hate them so much. You know, school, obviously, it's important, right? Like, we live in a world now where, like, even the highest education gets you, like, almost minimum wage work. But it's still, you know, it's pretty important to go to school. But, oh my god, group work, honestly, would be, like, the one reason I would say avoid school completely. I think group work is the worst thing in the world. I hate group work so much. Hello, Steffi. How are you? Inuyugi, hello. Nice to see you as well. Hello, user 2699, a whole bunch of other numbers. How are you? Welcome. Oh, Merle, I don't envy you at all. I really, really hate group work, and having people like that to work with is just, it's just the worst. It really is. Oh, I hate it so much. I'm mad for you. Okay. So first, let's... I don't remember how to do this with... How do I don't know how to do it. Damn it. Ah, okay. There. And then we just need a couple of... Oh, wait. I need this thing, don't I? So I'm a little bit rusty, everybody. Mainly because I don't play with mouse and keyboard. I normally play on my Oculus, so it the buttons are a little bit different, obviously. So I'm gonna struggle a little bit with what to do button-wise. Oh, Grey Snake, how you doing? How are things? Okay. So that's good enough. Let's empty this. So basically, right now, all I'm going to do is light everything up outside. I've got seeds, so I can do plenty of farming. I'm gonna have to find some cows or something. I don't know if I'll be able to find any here. Hopefully we do. Good, I'm glad you're doing pretty well. Oh, Steffi, I've been a huge fan of Minecraft for a bit now. You were around during that era when people used to ask me all the time to play Minecraft, and I was dead set against it. Like, I couldn't play Minecraft. I hated it. Actually, I should probably fix this. And then for Nora's birthday last year, when she turned 8, she got a Switch, and we got her Minecraft with it. And she was playing, but, you know, she doesn't really have friends around here. You know, we had her homeschooled for the first little while of the pandemic. Because she's a special needs kid, you know, she had to be, like, hands-on with the teachers, and because the teachers are working with all special needs kids, Nora's is more of just behavioral issues. It's not like a learning thing. It's a behavioral thing. And so, you know, she was really good. She's still really good about wearing masks and stuff, but the other kids who didn't necessarily understand what was going on, you know, they'd lick things, they'd touch things, and then the teacher would be with them, and then they'd go to Nora. So for us, it was, you know, let's make their life easier by having them have one less kid in class. Let's make our life a little bit less worrisome by having her exposed to less, you know, other children. And so we kept her home. So she didn't have a lot of kids to play with Minecraft, and I felt really bad for her. I tried to get her to play with my brother's kids, but he never gave me their information, so it just never came about. So I felt really bad, so I decided that I would play Minecraft, so she would have somebody to play with. And I had Game Pass, and it was on Game Pass, and so I downloaded it, and I kind of gave myself the goal, because I was dead set that I was going to hate this game. So I gave myself the goal that I was going to give myself an hour where no matter what I felt or thought, I was going to force myself to play for an hour, so at least I could learn the basics. And then that way, if Nora wanted to play, I'd be able to kind of grin and bear it, right? So I started playing, just learning the basics, and then I realized that the Oculus had VR support for it, and it was official. It wasn't a mod or anything, so I downloaded it. And I started playing in VR, and it was cool. And then I started to, like, explore a little bit, just so I could have some idea of what it's like to traverse the world and all that stuff. And I swear to you, before I even ever played with Nora, I probably put in like 15 hours. Thank you, Rise. 25 flowers. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get out of there. Move. Move, you jerks. I have to fix this thing. I really don't want to, though. It's so much work. Anyways, so before I even playing with Nora, I probably put like 15 hours into the game on my own. And then her and I played a bit, and the hard part is she's a very imaginative kid. And so she wants to play things like for pretend school, like what you see on like Minecraft channels where they like make believe and create a whole scenario. And I don't have the mind for that. I'm not that kind of a person creative wise. I just can't maintain my attention long enough to do that. So she doesn't really like playing with me because I like to play survival. And so we've played quite a bit. We've probably played about 30 hours in total together. But I still played on my own. I ended up putting in God knows how many hours in VR on my own, to the point where like I made myself like insanely powerful and then had to stop because I had nothing else to do in the game. I had already built the base I wanted. I had all the stuff that I wanted. I beat the Ender Dragon, and this was when the Wither was first. I think the Wither was first introduced, or the Wither was like a year old at this point, but like I didn't know about the Wither because I wasn't really watching anything about Minecraft gameplay wise. I would watch some people do things like building farms and stuff, but I wasn't like really into like what was going on in Minecraft. And so I took a bit of a break, and now I've come back to it, and I actually pretty much reached the same point. Like all my stuff is enchanted to the max. I don't have netherite stuff, but that's because I'm trying not to like get everything and then lose my will to play the game. And so I kind of was falling off on the game again because I needed to fight the Ender Dragon, but I've been really lazy to find stupid, what they're called, Endermen. And so I was kind of falling off the game, and then everything happened with my dad. And so I've been kind of wanting to do stuff that doesn't involve a lot of thinking. And so I decided that for the stream, it was a good kind of compromise to be able to stream without having the pressure of having to pay attention to the game I'm playing or having to like have any kind of gameplay ability. And so I decided to do it, and I'm pretty much just rebuilding. I started, my base is still available. That's why I have this farm and everything already, because this is from that gameplay. But I didn't want to start from scratch completely because I still haven't beaten the Ender Dragon in this file, and I've never beaten the Wither, and I've never done the Warden. So I want to do that on stream. So I'm just rebuilding right now, closer to this blaze farm, because my original base, like if you, I don't know if you, yeah, you can see it, or you can kind of see it right there. It's almost 2,000 blocks away in the Nether. So it's really far, and it's a really long ride every time I needed to like fix my tools. So I decided I was going to build here, right by the blaze farm. And I still have access to my old farm with all the equipment and stuff. But yeah, I'm like completely... Yeah, Steffi, that's exactly it. Once I learned the basics and kind of figured out what to do, now I still have the same holdups that I originally had against the game, where like if there's nothing to do, I lose interest really quickly, which is the big problem. That's why I haven't beaten the Ender Dragon this time around. I'm great. Just give me a super chill vibe, and I appreciate that. Dude, Rise, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know, I'm trying to... right now, I'm just trying to like keep myself distracted. It's just been a really stressful time. And I'm at that point now where like the initial stress of losing my dad is kind of passing. And now it's the realization that I've like actually lost my dad. So like I'm having really weird emotional moments. Not weird, they're completely natural, but like they're coming out of nowhere. Like for example, I was driving yesterday to work, and I had a complete breakdown in the middle of the highway. It just happened because it's hitting me now, right? So this is a really nice way for me to just kind of set a goal and not have to think about it. Like I've been playing Elden Ring and Dead Space and Dead Island, and like games that require some sort of concentration so I know what's happening. And I just don't have the mindset for that right now. Like right now, I'm not in a place to want to do that. I just want to play mindlessly. What do you have? Nothing that I want. I want slimes. Anyways, Chase, hello, nice to see you, welcome. Anyways, back to what I was saying to you, Steffi. Yeah, it is, Steffi, it is. It's one of those situations where, like, because everything happened the way that it did, I haven't been able to go into detail, and I'm sorry. I personally hate it when people speak vaguely. I have a few friends on Facebook that I can't stand when they post on Facebook because it's always vague references and they never actually say what they're upset about. You know, like it'll always be a comment that's like, yeah, and that's why drama isn't something I want to deal with. We don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Why are you posting about it, right? Like you want the attention, like at least be upfront about it. Anyways, sorry, just something that irks me. So I hate that I have to be really vague, but out of respect for my dad, out of respect to other people who would find what I've had to go through as something severely traumatizing, because it wasn't just like oh, my dad died suddenly. It was a bunch of other stuff that happened along the lines, along the way. The best thing I can say is like everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong from the moment he passed on. And so it's been a whirlwind, a complete ball of stress the whole time. You know, everything that it's already hard enough. It became even harder because of everything that was going on. And so I haven't really had a chance to just stop and appreciate what's happening really. But now that everything's kind of been settled for the most part, and like now it's just waiting game for like the insurance papers to come through and to make sure that everything is settled, and then his funeral's in a month, like the proper goodbye celebration we're gonna do is in a month. So now it's finally, life is now back to not normal, but like this is gonna be life now. And now it's starting to hit me. Like now I'll see a random picture of my dad and it'll make me break down, or like I'll have a random memory of him and it'll just hit me hard, or like I'll be thinking of something that somebody said about him and I'll have that moment of like, I wish I could call him and tell him, but I can't. You know what I mean? Okay, I need to stop talking about it. Nonetheless, it's that is happening right now. And so this is the not so fun part of everything, because like I'm not exactly healing. It's only been 2 weeks, right? Like it's still really fresh. So it's a hard time. So this game is great for that because I can just play, right? I don't have to worry about, you know, what did that NPC say? Why am I walking this way? You know? Thanks, John. Thanks, man. John, for those who are on YouTube and can see it, or you can see it on screen, John is a childhood friend, somebody I grew up with. He knew my dad. He saw my dad, you know, ever since we were kids. Thanks, man. I hope you're doing okay, dude. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, you 1000% get it. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not a fun situation. I mean, I'm thankful that at least I am like a grown-ass man, you know, like that I'm not a kid. I can't even imagine the pain I'm feeling. I can't even imagine being like under the age of 20 and going through it. It's always hard to lose a parent, but like under the age of 20 when you still really, really need your parents. You know, I still need my parents because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. They've been an adult longer than I have. I can still ask them questions, right? But like as a kid, it would be so much harder. But I still wish that it would have been when he was an old man, right? Like my dad was 59. Like he wasn't. I know for people that are like 20, 59 sounds old, but in the long run, 59 is not old at all. And he was the first of his siblings to die, right? And like my grandparents just died in the last 5 years. Right? Like my grandfather died 5 years ago in December. It'll be in 5 years in December. My grandmother just died in June. Like it's gonna be a month in like a week, a year in like a week. So like within a year, I lost my grandmother and then my dad. So it's a lot, right? It's exhausting, but it is what it is, right? Like there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do to fix it or, you know, to help anything. All I have to do is just figure out a way to kind of move forward, right? Are you still in Vietnam, man? Nautical Soap, how you doing? Vile 9. So I'm going to assume you're like 12 years old. So you don't know any better. You don't know how like cringy you're being right now. And that's okay, it's not your fault. When you're 12 years old, you're a dumbass, and that's okay, because all 12-year-olds are dumbasses, and it's fine. I've got a 9-year-old. She's on her way to be a dumbass soon. But just a piece of advice. That joke's not really funny. Like, even if I fell for it, It's not actually funny. It's really cringe. Like, really cringe. I'm trying to save you from being embarrassingly cringy. So, do better. Nice, man, nice. Is the missus in Canada yet or not yet? I'm so jealous though, man. You post some pictures. You know, I wish I could go to Vietnam. I've seen some videos during the pandemic. There were a few people that blew up on TikTok who had gone to live in Vietnam. I don't know. They were there for work or something, and then the pandemic happened, and then they got stuck. And they were just like, you know, they would ride their little mopeds around and just show like the little mom and pop restaurants that would just serve pho, and like they would show you how it is there. And I want to go to Vietnam. And like the scenery is very similar to how it is in El Salvador, so I think I would really enjoy Vietnam. I hope I can go to Vietnam one day. It would be so cool. It'd be so cool. Nice, we win. Yes, I'm on the big screen. I'm super famous. I'm super famous. Why is just sitting in front of a Blaze farm so nostalgic? Your local, is it local Dave? I don't know. I think the live chat on the TikTok live stream thing cuts the names down, but local, hello. I think the nostalgia, a big part of it is just the memories of having done it. You know what I mean? Like for me, that song is really emotional for some reason. I know exactly why, actually. It's not just for some reason. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11. I guess 11's good. I'm winging it here. I don't remember how to actually do this, so actually, no, I think it's more than 11. I don't actually remember. Damn. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. Oh man, fuzz. No, but maybe within a year. Nice. Hey, Cabosa, how's it going, man? How are you? Yeah, Cabosa, you know, I'm not a religious person. I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school and everything. But when I say I'm not religious, I mean like I don't follow religion. I would say I don't even know. I don't even know where I am, right? Because there are moments where I'm like, there's got to be more. And then there's moments where I was like, there's no way there's more, right? So I'm kind of in between. I'm not saying this to like blow off what you said. But I'm optimistic that my dad did what he had to do. You know what I mean? Thankfully, he was there to help me realize my passion for art, because like I chose to be an artist. And I chose acting of all things, which is something that none of my family has any experience with. The closest is I have a cousin that lives in Boston who is a news anchor for Telemundo. He's a sports anchor for Telemundo. Like that's the closest that I have. And so technically he's like a celebrity in our little sphere of the world. But like that's the only person that's even close to an actor in my family, my whole family. And so, like, I chose to be an actor, and it's not anything that really came from anywhere except for me. But it was thanks to my dad that I learned the beauty of art. My grandfather was a professional musician. His city hall was actually named after him back home. Because he was such a renowned musician, he was a violinist. But he also played the organ, and he was a singer and a guitar player. In El Salvador, in Latin culture, there's these things called trios, which are 3 men with guitars. It's usually 2 men with guitars and 1 man with maracas. A very similar idea to mariachi, but more romantic ballads is what they sing. And it would be tradition that, you know that movie from the 80s? I don't remember what movie it is, but I want to say, I don't even remember the guy's name. But at the end of the movie, he walks up to the girl's window with a boombox and stands there with the boombox, and the song plays. He's being all romantic. That's what the trios would do. You would hire these guys for the night. you know, pay them $20 or whatever. And then they'd come out at nighttime in front of the girl's window and they would play and sing to you. And then the man would sit there with a flower. And, you know, that was his declaration of love to the girl. That was like a big romantic thing back then. My grandfather had one of those with his two brothers. But my grandfather was the family musician and all of the family was obsessed with music, but none of them were musicians. Now, my aunts and uncles, my dad's brothers and sisters, none of them were really interested in music. My dad was the only one that picked that up. And so he was always passionate about music. Like he was in a mariachi band when we first got here. Then he started a second band that fell apart. I talked about that last week. And then we started our band and it wasn't even a plan. Like we didn't want to start a band. Let me just see. I'm in the same boat as you. Yeah, Sith, and you know, my positioning more than anything, and this is one of the reasons that I'm like, even if I decide one day that I don't believe in anything, which I don't know how I feel about that. There are studies, like actual studies that have happened, that they have researched people who are religious, who follow a religion, who are active religious people, not just like, oh, I believe in God and that's as far as they go. Like they actually go to church and they do all these things, that they live longer, happier lives. And a big part of it, speaking completely scientifically, a big part of it is just the fact that they have a community that they can rely on, right? Like having people that you can turn to when something goes wrong, having people that you can talk to when you're sad can be all the difference in the world. And so I think it is very important for people to have something to kind of help them have that peace. So I you know, like I said, I'm open to it. Anyways, back to what I was saying about my dad. So he was big into music. And so when we got together with the band, Chizah, hello, nice to see you. Welcome. I don't know how people, well, they wouldn't sing. They would hire these guys to sing. So my grandfather was the singer. So you'd come up and you could sing. They would give you the option, right? They'd be like, if you want to sing, we'll just play and you sing, we'll sing up backups for you. Or they'll like get the band to sing, the group, the trio to sing, you know, 3 songs. And then one of them, the person would sing as like a declaration of love. It was very much like the classic romance, right? Like my dad used to do that for people too. Like he would go and sing for people and stuff with my grandpa. And so, Preston, how's it going, man? How are you? Rex Cookie Wolf, hello. How are you, dude? I was just talking about that, man. I was just talking about that. I'll circle back to it. Just let me finish my thought before I lose it. So basically, oh my God, these days are going by so fast. So basically, my dad went to Boston. My dad had a lot of family in the States. And so we ended up in Canada specifically because one of my uncles ended up here and he was able to sponsor everybody to come here. Basically, my uncle came with my grandmother to here. My grandmother's sister, is it my grandmother's sister or my grandfather's sister? I can't remember. One of their siblings ended up in the States. So both of them pulled everybody here. So like, his family pulled everybody to the States. My dad's family pulled all of us here. I wasn't even supposed to come. When we came here, a little fun fact, this is how deeply my dad has impacted all of us, really, in this moment anyway. Obviously, it's not a deep impact because like if I stop streaming today, your life continues and you might think of me and miss me once in a while, but it's not going to be, you know, devastating. And I'm not saying that as in like feel bad. I'm saying it as in like just a factual statement. I'm just a streamer after all. Ah! That's so cute. A panda button. It's upside down. It's so cute. That's how Zelda, my dog, that's how she lays down every time I come home because all she wants is belly rubs. Anyways, my parents were actually like on the verge of divorce. They did not want to be together. They were young. They rushed into their marriage. Like my dad was 21 when they got together and like within 2 months they were married. And there's a whole bunch to it. Like my dad was basically abandoned by his parents. His parents were not good parents. You know, I have zero connection with my grandmother, really. Like I know my grandmother and she knows me, but like up until I was the age of probably like 9, she even refused to acknowledge that I was her grandson because she would say that, how does she know that my mom didn't sleep with somebody else and I'm actually somebody else's kid? Like that, this is who they were. That being said, my grandmother is like a vicious hard worker for her family, is what I'm trying to say. Like she will do whatever she can for her family, especially now that she's older. When my niece passed away, she was there cooking all day long for a fundraiser to try to raise money to bring my niece to Canada so we could bury her here. And even with my dad passing away, she was furious with us that we didn't let her see my dad before we cremated him. We didn't do that out of like spite or anything. But I'm fine with my grandmother now. If I see her on the street, I'll literally walk up to her, even if she's like a block away from me. I'll run up to her to give her a hug, even though she never knows who I am. But she's never been cruel to me now as an adult. Anyways, what I'm getting at is she's fiercely loyal. That's what I was trying to say. Not viciously, fiercely loyal. But we didn't let her see my dad because the state he was in. She was better off remembering my dad the way he was. We showed her what he looked like immediately after he passed away because it was just us and it was in the middle of the night and we knew his family, like his direct siblings and stuff, would want to say goodbye and they weren't going to get a chance to. But anyways, so my dad went to Boston. What the? Hey, dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the sub. Thank you so much. Shazah, yes, I'm in Canada. It's so much less delayed. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube is so delayed. I don't know why YouTube is so delayed. Oh, nice. No more class till September. That's amazing. That's amazing. But yeah, just I'm in Ontario. Surprise, surprise, where most of Canada has their population. And I'm like right in the core of like where everybody lives, basically. Not in Toronto, but like that little clump of like the 40% of Canada. That's where I am. Anyways, so my dad would go to Boston all the time to visit his family. That was like his thing. I would go with him all the time. And that's part of the part that makes me feel emotional is that my family in Boston, I'm probably never going to see them again after his funeral. Because I'm not one to travel, really. Like if I travel, I want to go on vacation. I'm not going to go visit family. My brother is more about visiting family. I've never gone to El Salvador without my parents. My brother's gone multiple times without my parents. I've never gone without my parents. So I'm sad because I love this family and I'm probably not going to see them ever again. That being said, my dad went to Boston to visit his family. Oh crap, I don't think I brought my hoe. I'm gonna have to go all the way back. You know what? I'll just build a stone one for now. So he would go visit his family and one of his uncles, my grandfather's younger brother, ran a flea market, and he was one of those guys that was obsessed with music but never could become a musician. They just a lot of the siblings that were obsessed with music had zero rhythm, and so they couldn't keep the tempo of a song for the life of them. So he ran a flea market, and part of the things that he sold in the flea market were instruments. So he had his attic full of just random instruments. So they were all drinking and they were talking about my grandfather because my grandfather had passed away. Oh, no, he was still alive at that point because he did hear us play. And so my dad was out there and they were all drinking, and my uncle did have a guitar that he would pull out and kind of pluck along with. Wasn't a great guitar player, but he would pluck along anyways. I don't know how far. Oh, no, it's not here. It's got to be up one. I'm just measuring to see how far the water reaches because I can't remember. So my uncle pulled out his guitar and started to strum, just goofing off the songs that they used to sing in their heyday and whatever, and they're songs that my dad grew up with. And so they were all goofing off. And then one of them got on like a little organ they had, and he was like plunking with one finger on the organ. And somebody else, my dad, grabbed a bass and just kind of messed around with the bass. And they were just having a good time goofing around. And my dad came back with the bug. So he came back to Canada, went to work, and is it 4 blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. I couldn't remember if it was 4 or 5. You need to turn on the PS5. That's a pain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it went to 5. It went to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move, sheep. Move. Move. Sorry, sheep. Ugh. 5. Okay. So, my dad had a friend. My dad was a car salesman for a really long time. That's how I got into it. And as part of his car salesman thing, he started going on the radio and would, you know, do interviews. People would ask about buying cars. And because my dad was a mechanic, lacking dopamine. God, do I know that feeling. Thank you for that follow. Welcome to the Retro Squad. Welcome to the family. Welcome to my little channel here. So my dad would go on the radio, and he was a mechanic for a really long time. What the hell? It reaches even further? What is this? Or is it because it's raining? It might be because it's raining. It might be getting messed with because it's raining. Yeah, you just said the same thing. We'll wait till it stops raining at least. So my dad would go on the radio, and he went to college to be a mechanic. He used to work for GM as one of their mechanics, and did it for a long time. And then he broke his wrist, so he was working, but it was part-time. And then what would happen is, at the dealership he was working at, people who spoke Spanish would come in and try to buy a car, and because they had a really hard time communicating, they'd call my dad, and my dad would talk to them. And so eventually he's like, I'm coming in and doing the work for the salesman. I might as well just sell the car. And so one of the guys that was a manager there was Spanish, and he was on the radio. And so he's like, why don't you come? I'll help you get your license, and I'll take you on as a sales guy. And so my dad started doing that. So he'd go on the radio. Through the radio, he met this guy. He was actually my very first friend that died from COVID. And he was one of the radio DJs. And he would talk and play music and whatever, but he used to be a musician back in his heyday, and he was a bass player. So he lent my dad the bass, because my dad came back all excited about this great night that he had with his family and whatever. And so he's like, I'll lend you my bass. He goes, I used to play bass. I've got one that I don't do anything with. I'll lend you it. And so my dad brought the bass home, and he was, you know, goofing off with it one night on his own, just kind of playing songs that we had grown up with, and just strumming along. And so I really enjoyed it. And now I took a few piano lessons when I was a kid. Like, I took them for almost a year, but I didn't learn anything really. I learned how to like position my hands and a couple of scales, and that was it. But I can't read music to save my life. I couldn't tell you what any of the stuff means. Like, I know zero about music. And so I had a little cousin, She was probably about like 6 at the time. Probably. And she had brought a toy piano to the house when we were babysitting her. I'm talking like one of these like little ones that like you could barely fit your fingers on because it was a toy, but it had a headphone jack, and we had a stereo, like a regular sound system for like television and stuff, that had the red and white. And so I found a headphone jack that went into the red and white. I plugged it into the stereo. My dad was playing the bass, and then I would just kind of plunk along on this little piano, just spending time with my dad. Like, that's all we were doing. And then my brother, and this is like the most stereotypical thing that you hear about kids who turn out to be drummers. My brother went upstairs and literally just grabbed a couple of pans and started to just like hit the pans to the rhythm just to participate with us. And he wasn't a little kid. Like, I was about 19 at the time, so my brother was about 16. Like, we were teenagers. I can't see it. Colin, thank you so much. I really appreciate that for the rose. Oh, zombies, really? Okay, that's okay. It's almost nighttime anyway. I'll go to sleep. So my brother was hitting the pots and pans. I was on this little toy piano, like one that you can get for like $10 at like Walmart. And my dad was playing a professional bass. And so we spent a couple of hours just like screwing around. And then my dad was always like, my dad was a bullshitter. My dad liked to bullshit a lot. And it wasn't that he was lying. He was overly confident all the time, right? Like, he was just overly confident about everything. And so he went to Long and McQuaid, which is, I don't know if they exist in the States, but it's basically like, Guitar City, or is that what it's called? Guitar City? It's a music place, right? Where they sell instruments and stuff. And so get out of here, dude. And so he went and he bought a set of timbales. And then he took me to Best Buy, and we bought like one of those $200 cheap like learner piano keyboard things. And we just started messing around. Like, for him, it was just something to do with his kids. Like, he was so excited that his kids were into music. And so here we go. Now that it stopped raining, we could try again. And so he bought these things, and I was like, why are you doing this? Like, we're doing it for fun. Why are you spending your money on this thing? But whatever. So we started playing and just goofing around. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, it is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can take this off. And so he bought these things, and we started to learn some songs, you know, like, and actually sounding half decent because now we had proper instruments. And then he convinced my sister. He didn't really convince her. It was one of those like, you're gonna do this whether you want to or not. He went out and bought a set of congas and told my sister she was gonna play those so she could be a part of it too. And needless to say, she wasn't very happy about it, but she did it anyway. And we started to just play for fun. And this is where like the whole my dad being overconfident and being a bullshitter comes into play. He had a friend that he was talking to about like what he had done that weekend or whatever, and he mentioned how his friend had mentioned how he was going to throw an Independence Day or a party for Mexican Independence Day. And my dad, being the bullshitter he was, tells him that he had a live band and he would be more than happy to perform for him for free. And so the guy was like, okay, sure. Yeah, we'll put you in. We knew like, I think it was like 5 songs. Like we didn't know very many songs at all. But we did it, and that's how we got started. It was literally just my dad bullshitting some guy out of just sheer excitement. It wasn't even like, oh, we were good at what we were doing. It was just my dad was excited, and that's how we started. And then next thing you know, every gig we did introduced us to a new person, and within 5 years, we were performing in front of thousands. And then, you know, by the end of our little escapades, our gigs could be as big as 5,000. 5,000 was the biggest we ever had. But like 1,500 was not out of the ordinary for us. And so it all started because my dad just was bullshitting some guy. But my dad was so happy that we were musicians. And that was like a big thing for him is the music. So his family has always kind of had it in their heads that I am going to be a musician, or that I should be a musician professionally, because I was the only one that brought the talent as far as our family went. I had a cousin who played violin, but she never had any interest. My grandfather gave her his violin. It wasn't a fancy violin, but it was his, right? Like he was the family musician, and he gave her his pride and joy, and then she pawned it. And the whole family has never forgiven her for it, because it was his pride and joy, and we were poor, right? Like our family is dirt poor, like the Sarah McLachlan help feed these children for $1 a day, like that kind of poor. And he gave her his violin and she pawned it. But yeah, that's how we started with the band. That's how the music started, right? Yeah, my dad was a hilarious. Oh, okay, you're just off from TikTok. Perfect. But yeah, it's thanks to my dad that I got into music the way that I did. And that's how like my love for performing and for music and everything came to be. That's why I became a musical theater actor, was because of the whole start with the band. I sang my whole life. I'd been singing since I can remember. I mean, I joined a choir when I was a little kid. And so like it was in me, but my dad was kind of the one that put me into I could do this in front of real people as a professional and not like just as some little kid singing for the cute factor. It was cool. It was really cool. You know, and that was my dad's way. He would just bullshit people. And don't get me wrong, it used to piss me off. Like it used to piss me off to no end, because he would promise things that he wouldn't talk to me about, but then it was up to me to figure it out. Like one time there was a wedding we had to play for in Boston, and no, it wasn't in Boston. It was in New England, I think. I can't remember. It was somewhere in the States, close to Boston, because we stayed at family's house and then we traveled out to where we needed to go. Anyways, there was a wedding we had to play for, and he promised the bride that I would play the wedding march. And he didn't tell me about it until the night before the wedding. And I don't know how to actually play the piano, so I couldn't just play the wedding march. It was humiliating. I ended up just playing a CD, and they were not happy about it. But yeah, things like that would really bother me, because my dad would just make promises without ever consulting us about it. But it was just because he was so... It wasn't that he did it out of like trying to impress people. He genuinely had so much confidence in my ability as a musician that he thought there was nothing I couldn't do. You know, and it was sweet in a way because obviously he genuinely thought that I could just do whatever. At the same time, I was not that good. But he wouldn't hear otherwise. I mean, hell, in the band, I learned how to play the bass. Once he had carpal tunnel surgery, he couldn't play the bass long term anymore. Because our gigs, we would play for 2 hours straight, easy, no problem. What the hell? Oh, I blocked it off. But my dad, once he had his carpal tunnel surgery, he couldn't. Why is it not? I'm confused. I'm not understanding why I can't put a stone there. I don't know. Anyways, he couldn't play the full set anymore, so I learned the bass in order to kind of cover for my dad. This is really weird that it's doing this. I don't know. I learned to play the bass to cover my dad. But before my dad had his surgery, we were at a point where we had kind of peaked with what we could physically do as musicians, sound-wise. Not what we could do, what we could like reproduce music-wise. Because like it or not, synthesized trumpets and saxophones never, ever, ever sound as good as the real thing. And so I learned how to play the trumpet. I was hired on to play with a professional band from back home that I was absolutely obsessed with as a kid. And they had a real trumpet player there. And with the keyboard and then having the trumpet kind of add the real brass sound to it, he showed me the trumpet player. He also passed away, actually. He passed away from diabetes, which is the same thing my dad passed away from. That was really sad. Anyways, he showed me that adding one real brass instrument with the synthetic brass instruments filling in could really amplify how good it sounded. So I learned how to play the trumpet for that reason. And so, you know, through my band, I learned how to play the keyboards, the trumpet, and the bass. And so my dad just was convinced that I could play any instrument without ever having to worry about it, which was a very, very, very high overestimation of my skills. But it was still interesting. Now, if I break the block under the water, won't it like reach less far? It doesn't matter. I'll do that because I don't want to have problems with like veggies falling in here. Hello, Jimmy. How you doing, man? How are things going? But yeah, it was very life-changing for me. It's thanks to my dad that I became the musician that I am and the artist that I am. He ensured that. So it's thanks to him that I ended up where I did as a musician. Oh, back to what I was saying originally, how I said that he impacted our lives, all of us at this very moment, more than like most of you realize. So my grandmother brought everybody over with my uncle. My parents were really young when they got together and they didn't want to be together. My parents were very different people. My dad grew up absolutely dirt poor. Like I'm talking like I went to his childhood home and my grandfather hadn't oh crap. I thought I had regular blocks. I guess I could just smelt some more. He grew up in literally like a shack. Like it was cinder block walls, 4 cinder block walls and like a tin roof or a thatch roof with a few like wooden walls inside to like split up from like the kitchen and the bedrooms. Like it was literally a super poor third world children type of place. That's where my dad grew up. And so he was incredibly poor and his parents just never ever worried about taking care of him. He was the middle child. And so he had to raise himself. Like my dad started smoking and drinking at the age of 11 because he had nobody to supervise him. Right? It's amazing that he ended up where he did, being completely self-sufficient. Whereas my mom, she grew up really, really poor too, but my grandfather, my mom's dad, was all about family. He was a heavy alcoholic, but he was all about family. He loved his family. He would do anything he could for his kids. And he opened up a mechanic shop. He taught himself how to become an electromechanic. And he... Get out of here, dude. You're ruining my farm. Get out of here. And so they went from being insanely poor to having money. My mom had servants at the time. And, you know, when they had met, my mom went to college, and they had a nice home by the time she was out of school, where my dad never had any of that. So they were very different. So when they were married, they weren't in the best terms when I was born. And my dad decided when he got the opportunity to come here, he was coming here, and that was it. That they were done. They were going to be divorced. And because of the way Canada was in the 80s, they were very, very lenient on giving people visas and stuff. And because my dad was married to my mom, when the government realized, when he went for his citizenship, they realized that he was married and had a kid, they told him that if they wanted, we would automatically be accepted as well. And so he called my mom, and she said, yeah, she wanted me to grow up with my dad. And so she came here. So I would not be in Canada if it wasn't for my dad being adventurous and being, you know, just deciding, yeah, why not? And so it's thanks to my dad that I'm even in Canada to begin with. You know, my dad was always one of those people that just kind of lived at the edge of his seat all the time. He just didn't care. He was willing to do whatever. You know, we drove to El Salvador on a regular basis. That was just not abnormal for us. It was very, very just a regular thing for us to just drive to El Salvador, which is like a 10-day drive. You know, my dad always was just willing to do random adventures. It was, it's weird to think that I would not be here as a content creator in Canada if it wasn't for my dad. Not only that, but like I wouldn't even have interest in content creation if it wasn't for him, because I did this because of my acting, and I got into acting because he showed me my passion for performance. So like all of it ties back to my dad, all of it. It's crazy. Yeah, the butterfly effect, exactly. Yeah, Jimmy, it's been rough. It's been rough, but I'm doing what I'm enjoying, and I'm trying to, what time is it? Okay, good. I'm trying to do something to enjoy myself, you know? Alex Ace, thank you so much for that follow. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to do what I can to like get my life back to normal, to whatever normal is now. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be, what am I trying to say? Like, it's not like I'm all of a sudden fine. Obviously, there are things that are still a struggle for me, and they will be for a very long time. But I figure the way I look at it is life has to go back to normal, and I have to keep creating content. And if I just mope all the time, I won't get back to it. I'm very, very good at procrastinating. And so I'll never get back to content creation if I don't force myself to get back to content creation. So I thought I would do Minecraft as like a casual, casual way to stream without having to really feel the pressure that you feel with, you know, other games. And so I started doing this, and I'm loving it. So if that's there, I guess I could put stone here, and then we'll put glass. So anybody who's wondering, I am building a wheat farm, a semi-automatic wheat farm. Basically, the way these work is I can now plant the wheat, right? And back there, I'm going to put in a bunch of... not droppers. Is it droppers? I think it's droppers back there. And then I can trigger them with redstone and it'll release water, which will then farm all the wheat for me and knock it down here. And then this will knock it into my hopper, which then knocks it into the treasure chest. Into the chest. Nora gets so mad at me because I always call it a treasure chest. And then that's it. I don't have to do all the work of having to pick it. Now, mind you, I have a hoe that's Fortune 3 and I could get more stuff out of it, I think. But this is just like the lazy man's way of doing it. Firefox, I just talked to somebody else earlier. I'm going to give you the same advice I gave this other person. I know you're probably like 12 years old, so it might go over your head a little bit because your brain hasn't developed and you're still a dumbass. And it's okay because most 12-year-olds are dumbasses. It's just human nature. It's not like I'm saying you in particular, although you're probably a shining example of it. It's not really a funny joke. Like, I get it, you're trying to be edgy and like, I'm an edgelord, like, whatever, man, I'll tell you the F-bomb, I'll use the R slur, I'll use racial slurs because I'm edgy. But like, you're just a dumbass. Like, it's not even that creative. Like, I literally had that exact joke 15 minutes ago. Like, you weren't even creative enough to make a racial joke to a person of color. And be creative about it. Like and I've had the exact joke like 3 times in the past. So like, get a little bit creative if you're gonna be edgy. If you're gonna be an edgelord, at least be like an original edgelord. Although I know it's hard for 12-year-old dumbasses to be original in any way. But it's just my word of advice, because you don't want to look back and be like, oh my god, I was so cringy. Trust me, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you. You know. Yeah, Hyper, we're playing some Minecraft. You're a Fortune 1000, Ryan. Fortune 1000. I think the most hilarious thing, everybody who's on Twitch and YouTube, I've got like the most pathetic 12-year-old troll trying to like be a racist, but like failing really badly, like, telling those jokes that were like from the 80s that we told as kids. Like, not that we said them, but like, they were jokes when we were kids. Like, they've been around for a long time. And they're trying to be edgy. And then I called them out for being like pathetic dumbasses, right? Like, it's not even like they're not even like insulting edgy. Like, it's really dumb. Like it's as dumb as like walking up to somebody and being like, you're gay. Like that's the stupidity of their joke. But they're trying to be edgier by being racist on top of it. But the best part is when they get called out for being pathetic and they're embarrassed because they're being pathetic, their instant comeback is, bro got mad. I think it's like, it's embarrassing, right? Like, I'm embarrassed for them. This is one of the reasons I can't watch people do a cappella stuff, especially when they're really, really, really bad singers. I don't like watching a cappella to begin with. Like, I'm talking not like the cool where they harmonize with themselves or each other or whatever. None of that. I'm talking like somebody just sitting in front of like a camera and just singing by themselves. I've never been a fan of that. But when they're really bad at it, it's like you feel embarrassed for them. It's secondhand embarrassment. And so like this person trying to be edgy with like such a stupid joke is even more embarrassing than that. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, why? You're so pathetic. Like, just I'm embarrassed for you, dude. I'm embarrassed for you. And the fact that they've made 3 separate accounts to make the exact same joke each time. Like, have you ever, I don't know if you've seen this on Family Guy, everybody, sorry, I gotta harp on this because this person's so stupid. Yeah, they can't even spell, like, that's the best part, is they spelt they tried to be racist, and then they spelt the racist word wrong. So they literally spelled, because the joke is, would you rather watch a tree grow or your knee expand in size? I don't want to say it because I don't want somebody to take that out of, some moron like this would take it out of context and then use that as like, he's a racist. Anyway, that's the joke they're trying to make. And then he goes and tries to be full on edgy by saying it out like full chest while hiding behind a blank account because they're complete cowards, of course. Would you rather watch a tree grow or a Niger? They didn't even spell it right. Like they spelt the country. Like they're idiots. They can't even properly be racist. Like they're so stupid. So stupid. It's embarrassing that they can't even spell when they're trying to be bigots. No shock, right? Somebody who can't spell is a bigot. Wow. Probably. I have no idea. I have no idea, Ryan, because TikTok is a mess. TikTok is a complete mess. There have been times where somebody has made a video and I've stitched it and then I got banned because of hateful wording, and the hateful wording was in the video I stitched, and I never said or did anything hateful. TikTok is a complete mess when it comes to censorship. It's such a weird platform. Right, Ryan? Like, it's stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Man, now I don't remember what I was saying. Damn. Well, the troll got me on that one. I lost my train of thought now. I know I was talking about my dad and music and stuff, but I can't remember. It's calling you for it. You are, Ryan. You're so worth it. You're like the rarest hoe ever. It's amazing. Oh, I don't know if Rex is still here. It's always so hard for me when somebody's been around the channel for such a long time. Because for those who don't know, Ryan's been around for a really long time. Steffi's been around for a really long time. I've known Preston in real life for a really long time, and he's lurked for a really long time. The Weewin's been around for quite a while now. Man, you're no longer one of the new ones. You used to be one of the new ones. You've been around long enough that you're no longer one of the new ones, Weewin. You know, but Rex has been around for as long as Ryan has, for a really long time. And their name used to be Ninja. I can't even remember the rest of it. I just remember I called you Ninja. Like, that was what I always called you. Anyways, it's always weird for me to try to call them something different, and I don't know whether to call them their old name or their new name. But anyways, I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I was against Minecraft, and then I started playing it because I wanted to play with Nora, so I kind of forced myself to play it, and now I absolutely love Minecraft. Because I know it has no goals, and that kind of drives me crazy, but it has enough stuff for me to do to kind of keep myself distracted. But for a stream, it's perfect, because for a stream, I'm able to kind of just like shut my brain off and just play. I don't have to worry about it. It's really nice. It's a really nice feeling. Okay, so this is pretty much done. I just need to add the droppers back there. So I'm gonna go look for a dropper. I'm part of the furniture. You're still like the nice newer part of the furniture, but you're definitely part of the furniture now. That's like here at my house. I have two couches. One that my brother bought, and he had it for a while, and then he bought a nicer couch. And so his couch was kind of just this couch. He was going to throw it out. Not this one that's here, but the other one in the other room. He was going to throw it out. And then at that point, I started living by myself, and I was living in a really big apartment. So he asked me if I wanted his couch, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Like, I have a lot of space, and I've got no couch. I think I had a couch, but it was really small. And so his was way nicer. It was way more expensive. And so he gave it to me. And so I was using that for a long time. And then I moved here, and then I bought the one that I have. You can see it on TikTok and stuff. You can't see it on Twitch, but you see it at the beginning. It's on the side here. And I bought that one when I moved here. It was the first couch that I personally bought. And the other couch has been here for a really long time. This one's now an older piece of furniture, but it's the newer one out of all the older pieces of furniture. So that's kind of how you are, Weewin. Yes, you could be the footrest. You could be the footrest. Okay. I don't actually remember what dispenser, that's what I was talking about. Not dropper, dispenser. Oh, I don't have any redstone here, do I? Did I bring redstone with me? I thought I did. Probably. I haven't fully built things yet, Jay, so I'm gonna have to move this stuff. I thought I cleared it out. I must have missed a piece of wood there, so I'll get rid of that in just a second. Thank you for pointing it out, though, because I would not have noticed. I would not have noticed. Nice, Hyper. What kind of work? You don't have to say where you're working, just like, is it retail? Is it like, I don't know, some kind of like teaching assistant? Is it like a lifeguard? I don't know. What kind of work is that? Are you, Ewan? I'm still on the fence. Damn it, I don't have any redstone here. We're gonna have to take a long trip back to the home base. Back to the home base. That's okay, we'll do that. Security, ooh. Alana did security for a while. I couldn't do security. I was actually, I talked about this with the Toronto police, actually. They come to the channel once in a while and they watch. That's how dangerous I am, folks. That's how dangerous I am. The Toronto police follow me on TikTok and watch my streams. It's because I'm so badass. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, we were talking. Oh no, I have a portal over here. What am I doing? And I was saying about, like, I tried for a really long time to be a cop, and it never worked out. There were different circumstances, different things, and then like one of my friends who used to run some of the interviews in the Niagara police was telling me that one of the issues that I would have for sure if I got further than I had gotten would be the fact that I have a cousin who's been arrested a few times. He was like in a gang when he was a kid and stuff. Like, he doesn't do that stuff now, but when he was a kid, he did. And apparently, maybe now that they've opened the doors way more, but back then they were really strict about that stuff. And if I had a family member that had been involved with police before as a bad guy, then they wouldn't want to hire me just due to conflict of interest and the potential of having to like turn a blind eye for my own family members type of thing. So I kind of, and just like physically, it just was too much for me to do. I'm too much of a lazy ass. And so I stopped doing it. And now that I'm older, because this is back when I was like 23, 24 years old. Now that I'm older, my temper is a lot calmer than it used to be. I get irritated way more, and I get very snarky and smartassy, as there's never been an example of it, not even like 15 minutes ago, you know? But like back then I would get even angrier, and I had a much harder time controlling my temper. So I probably wouldn't have been a good cop anyway, because I would have let the power get to me. I probably would have ended up in some trouble. So it was probably a good choice that I didn't become a cop. So the reason I'm saying that is for security. I don't think I'd want to be a security guard still. Now I think I could maybe handle being a cop. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe. But I don't think I could handle being a security guard. Mainly because security, it's almost like people who are going to do something undesirable, you know, break the law or whatever. It's almost like they already scoff at police to begin with, but it's almost like by being security, it's almost like a challenge for them to be even more disgusting and more pushy. But as a security guard, it's mainly because you have less power. Like, you're able to do less, right? So I don't think I'd be a good security guard, because I know they would antagonize me even more. So I envy you for doing that kind of work and being able to do it in a responsible way. I would not be able to. I am so not a responsible person. You know what I mean? Being a police officer is your end goal. Yeah, it's you know, I've got my thoughts on policing, and it's not about the officers, it's about just the way the system is run. I think there are some things that need to be revamped, and I think most people would agree that there are things that need to be revamped. Whoa, you scared me. Come here. Fight. Did you? Nope. But that being said, policing can be such a well-paying job. And like, you're still really young, so if you can get in young enough, you can retire at an insanely young age. Now, I obviously, well, no, I'm taking two wild guesses. I can't remember because my memory sucks. I want to say you are Canadian, right? But you're in like Alberta or something, aren't you? I want to say, I can't remember for sure. But anyways, in Ontario, they're lowering the bar for policing. Like they're putting the bar on the ground now for policing, which is not a good thing. But that being said, I know beforehand that they used to prefer older cops. Like almost always, they wanted you to be closer to 30 than to 20 to be hired on, because they want the life experience. They want you to kind of grow up. And now I get it. Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, yeah, I definitely would rather an older cop than a younger cop to start as a cop. Anyway, but if you can get in young enough, you can retire like at a really stupid age. Like one of my friends, the one who was a sergeant in the Niagara Police, he retired at the age of 50. And I get it, when you're like 20, 50 sounds pretty old, but like the average lifespan of people is like almost 80 now. Like we're getting closer and closer to 80. You still almost have half of your life to live by the time you're 50. Like you still have another at least 20 years to live. So like you can enjoy retirement, and at 50 you're still young enough that you can do stuff, right? Like you're not this like old frail person that has to use a walker to go everywhere. Like you could literally still go and do a bunch of adventurous stuff at 50. So like it's pretty decent, and you can make a decent living as a cop. You know, like you're not going to be rich, you're not going to be a millionaire, but you can make a really comfortable living as a cop, which is nice. I think it's a decent career choice, you know what I mean? Yeah, with corrections, I had a principal who did corrections. He was a correctional cop for a while, and then or a corrections officer for a while, and then he became oh, you're in the States, okay. For some reason I thought, no, it's Cabosa I was thinking about somebody different. Sorry. Totally thinking about somebody different. I don't know why I linked your name with his. So he was a correctional cop, and it's so much harder because a lot of the guys that you would be dealing with are there for a while. Like it's not like they're going to be there for 6 months and they're going to try to be on their best behavior. A lot of them are going to be there for years. And so for many of them, they got nothing to lose by antagonizing you, by pushing you, by hurting you. And so a lot of the times for corrections, they definitely want somebody with some experience so they can have that ability to kind of deal with the harassment that they're going to get, if that makes sense. And my old principal used to talk about how scary it was. Like he had a guy who was there for life. He had, you know, killed a bunch of people. And he was there for life. And in Canada, it's basically 25 years. Like life doesn't always mean life here. I mean, we had that one really famous couple, Bernardo and whatever the woman's name was, Paul Bernardo and whatever her name was. And she participated and she made a plea deal, but she's out and about now. She's free. She's doing whatever she wants. And so get $1 million after working 20 years. That's crazy. I know here the beginning salary starts at like 60-something thousand, and by the time you're like fifth year constable, because the 60-something thousand is as like a cadet style constable, but once you're like a full-blown constable for 5 years, it jumps up to like 100,000 or something like that. Like that's pretty comfortable. It's not rich, especially now with inflation, but it's comfortable enough. At $100,000, if you are smart with your money, you can lead a very comfortable life. Anyways. And so, oh God, what was I saying? I don't even remember. Oh, so he was in jail. But our like life sentences aren't really life sentences. That being said, this guy was, you know, threatening my principal when my principal was, a cop or a correctionals officer. And the principal eventually, you know, got on the guy's good side because he was one of these like really likable dudes. And when he was talking to the guy, he's like, you know, like, why you're causing all this trouble? Why get yourself into more trouble? And his response was, I'm in here for life. What does it matter if I do anything else? What are they going to do? Make me stay in here after life? Like, they can't do anything to me anyway. And then on top of that, he ended up even saying, he goes, you know, and even if I wasn't, he goes, I'll kill you. I'll get 4 years in jail. What's 4 years for you to stop harassing me? It's like, that's pretty heavy if you think about it, right? He's already proven he's capable of it. So it's pretty heavy to think that, you know, your life is on the line every single day like that. Whereas like as a police officer, your life is on the line, but it's not directly being threatened at all times. You know, if you're unlucky, obviously you're going to get into some really, really serious situations, but most of the time you're going to do a bunch of, you know, traffic stops and investigations and see other people whose lives are in danger, but yours was never actually directly put in the line. So I can see why they would want experience, so you can kind of be hardened to that. But yeah, those people, the corrections officers, that's something I could never do. I could never, ever do that. And that's not even like having to do with my own temperament. It has to do with like, I'm a coward and I would be far too scared to deal with. Can I climb this? Why can't? I'd be far too scared, and I don't even care who thinks, like, if you think I'm a coward or whatever, I'd be too scared. I don't even care. Aw, damn it. Oh well, it's okay. I'll re-hoe this. Exactly, Ryan. Exactly. Right? Like the sergeant I worked with, that I knew personally, he got mad at me once because I asked the typical question that every stupid person, not stupid person, but everybody asks without thinking about it. And then after you think about it, it makes you feel really stupid for having asked in the first place. I asked, did you ever shoot anybody? Now, in my defense, I was young. I was ignorant. But second, I grew up with parents who lived during a civil war in my home country, right? Like my mom was a nurse during a civil war. My dad was training to be a doctor during that same civil war. They saw some horrendous things. And my parents talked about it openly. Like my parents, they didn't ever worry about like traumatizing us by telling us some of the stuff that they saw. I had uncles who were part of like there was this thing. There was a group from the military that they called the Death Squad, which would basically, their job was to find out who was part of the guerrilla warfare team, and part of their job was like torture and stuff. I had uncles that were part of that team. Like I was surrounded by like some pretty dark stuff growing up, and so like for me to ask that just didn't seem like that big of a deal. And then he showed me otherwise, and I was like, okay, I get it. I get why you would be upset if I asked that question. But anyways, what I'm getting at is I asked him, and he was very open about all that stuff. He goes, you don't ask somebody that. He goes, I'll answer because I never have. Like, I never had to shoot anybody. I never got in that situation. So like you could live a whole career as a cop and never have to like draw your gun in any like active dangerous situation. You'll draw it in like a safety, like you're coming into a house to check because you've heard of a burglary or whatever, but there was nobody there, so you weren't actively in danger. It's just the potential of it. But you could potentially have a whole career as a cop and never have any like direct danger to your life. Whereas like as corrections, every day your life is in absolute direct danger. It's a really, really thankless job. It's a really thankless job. People who do corrections are way underappreciated, and they're yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. It would not be something I'd be capable of. Okay. So we've got dispensers. So let's get these dispensers in here. I haven't been talking about what I'm actually doing. I've just been randomly talking. Okay. So those are all the dispensers that we need. So this is pretty much the farm outside of the redstone that I need for the actual mechanism, which is what we'll build next. Actually, I could do it from behind. I can do it from behind. If I do it here, will it go? I think it'll go up, right? I don't know. I'll see in a second. Kira, yeah, we're talking about corrections officers. You know, prison guards, basically. Okay. I want to build a button. I made too many arrows. Too many bows, I mean. Let's get rid of some of these bows. They're all taking up my inventory. No, I need you. I'm gonna need a bunch of buckets, actually. Thank goodness I brought some extra iron. Okay, am I the only person that looks at this and thinks silver? I can never think iron. I always think silver. Okay, so I'm gonna need... Let's do 9 because I want to keep these 2 for myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should probably build an infinite water source closer by so I don't have to walk all the way out here every time. Whoops. You're the youngest security guard they have? Whew. Yeah, Alana did security for a while. She worked for the government in the office for like government assistance and stuff. Basically welfare. She worked at that office doing security there. And she's like, most of the time her job was the most boring thing in the world because she would just sit there, right? Just having the presence is almost a deterrent on its own. And she would just sit there. But then you'd always get the 1 or 2 people that were addicted to drugs and weren't necessarily thinking clearly when they were interacting with everybody in the office and would cause a scene. She got hurt once or twice by like people physically assaulting her while she was there. Nothing like drastic, but like they would smack her hand away. I want to say one time they grabbed her fingers and twisted them back. I want to say that's what happened. But like most of the time it was like telling people they weren't allowed to be parked there for free or just like pointing to where different things were that people needed to access. But she said it was really, really boring. But yeah, the abuse she dealt with sometimes, verbal abuse, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Bailiff would be interesting. You could see all the crazy excuses people make for the dumb stuff they do. I wouldn't mind being a bailiff for the entertainment value of it. Oh, you see, officer, I was running that speed and that speed and I ran that red light because, you see, there was a gnome and the gnome told me that if I went fast enough, I would win. And if I won, then I'd be rich. So that's why I did it. Because there are some people that come up with like the most ridiculous excuses, you know? I'm so bad with names. You've been here so many times and I always say it wrong. Sarah, whatever. So we are still in the waiting period. I don't want to go into too much detail because they have begged me not to talk about it. It was a very thinly veiled threat of basically like, we're not going to help you if you talk about it. But they did send out all the paperwork. We've filled it out and they've sent it into whoever needs to actually like put it into the system. And so now we're just waiting for that. But we are talking, like we're dealing with one of like the VPs or something directly. So they're the ones that have been putting it through the system and stuff. There's a few other things that they want us to kind of look at because my dad had some kind of protection where if he became disabled and couldn't pay for it, he would be okay. He'd be protected. And they did not do that. They didn't implement that when he had a stroke. So we're right now we're in the process of working on that part of it right now, like getting to see what money we could get back from having not been given the protections that my dad had paid for. But as far as like the actual insurance coming through, we're just waiting. We just filed everything on Monday because we needed to get a bunch of stuff done. Like we had to talk to the doctor, get the doctor to fill out some paperwork, and he was on vacation when it happened. Plus we were still in the middle of dealing with my dad's funeral and everything. So it was a lot of running around to get everything settled, and on Friday everything got settled, and now it's just waiting. I didn't see the alert, and I don't see it up on my screen. J-Worm, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. J-Worm, I'm not a Minecraft-only streamer. I've been streaming Minecraft consistently for the last week. Like, all of last week I streamed Minecraft, and right now I'm streaming Minecraft, and will for a little while anyway, because my father just passed away. That's what I'm in the middle of talking about with the life insurance thing. My father just passed away a couple weeks ago, and I'm not in a place where I'm really able to concentrate fully on a stream. But normally I play things like hold on. See, even right now I'm trying to concentrate, and I'm not, it's not in my mind at all. I need a repeater, and that needs stone. Damn it. Oh, I could just get stone though. I'm not really like in the best state yet. Like it's only been a couple weeks. So, but I didn't want to completely stop streaming forever. And I kind of have to jumpstart my life, right? Like I have to kind of get back into the groove of how things are. So I figured if I'm streaming, I could stream something like Minecraft where I don't have to think very much and just kind of casually be playing. So that's why Minecraft right now. But normally I play a variety of stuff. I've been playing through Elden Ring, which I'm kind of stuck on, which is one of the reasons that kind of pushed me towards Minecraft, because I was stuck on Elden Ring and really frustrated. I was also playing Dead Island, and I have been playing Dead Space, but I kind of took a break from that to play some Dead Island. But that's kind of where my channel is right now. And that's kind of how I am. It's just a variety of stuff. I'm going to be streaming a lot more often soon. It's just right now my daughter is still in school, and I have to pick her up from school. And so like in about an hour I have to leave. And so my timing is really, really limited. But once she's on summer vacation, I'll have a lot more free time to be able to stream. And then I'm going to add more games to my repertoire. Okay, does this work now? I think I put the repeater on. Oh, it didn't go up. That's why. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I stream a variety of stuff. Just right now, just because I'm not in the best place mentally. Huh. Okay, so I'm guessing it's because, yeah, it has to be on there. If I put stone down, will I? I've built this farm a bunch of times. I don't have the best memory for blueprints. So I'm kind of winging it right now. It's a lot of test and try, see if it works. Thanks, Hyper. I really appreciate that. Ha! And what? What? Why did it actually spit them out? I'm so confused. Robo, well, thank you. It's been a really, really long process to get my room to look the way that it does. When I first started, it was a tiny shelf with a few NES games. And I had so few of them that I actually like faced them all forward so they would take up more space, and it was still just like a tiny shelf. And then I worked really, really hard to kind of build everything up, and why is it doing that? Oh my god, I made droppers instead of I'm such an idiot. See, this is why I couldn't play, this is why I wouldn't be able to play, Elden Ring. If I screw something like that up, imagine me trying to figure out what to do in Elden Ring. Oh, I'm an idiot. Thank you for clarifying that. I would have been sitting here for 20 minutes going, I don't understand. Why is it broken? I would have been so mad. I get it now. Thank you. But RoboWolf, yeah, I play a variety of stuff. Like I said, I just play droppers. Damn it. Okay. What am I missing for the dispenser then? Oh, God, and I was even thinking to myself, I'm like, why do I still have so many bows? I don't understand why there's so many bows still here. Okay, let's get rid of some of this stuff to make space for the dispenser. I don't remember what I need for the dispensers. Dispensers, a bunch of cobblestone, and then I just need the bows. Okay. And somebody just asked about PS2 games. I'm not really well versed in PS2 games. I wasn't huge into PS2 when it came out. Why is it not? This is what screwed me up. Look, it's telling me that I don't have bows. Why does... That is so weird. That is so weird how it's doing that. Only one at a time. Wow, this is really annoying. This is really annoying. Yeah, I didn't really do a lot of PS2 gaming. Whoops. I played PS2, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing that I was like super obsessed with when it came to PS2 to be able to say you need to buy these games in particular. I think a big part of it was just that there were so many PS2 games that I was almost overwhelmed. So there wasn't a lot of games that I was super attached to. And I own a few PS2 games, but not a crazy amount. Like Metal Gear 2 is really good. Metal Gear 3 is really good. Those ones are really good PS2 games to play. Silent Hill 2 is another really good one. I have a game called Kuon, but that's more of a collector piece. That's not super easy to find. I've never seen it in the wild. And now take this with a grain of salt because it is DK Oldies after all. But according to them, the game is valued at about $300. So it's not like an ultra collectible game, but it apparently, according to DK Oldies, is one of the most rare PS2 games. So those are decent games. I'm trying to think of... Okay. Are we good now? Please? Don't make me look like an idiot again. I'm trying to think of other PS2 games that really rocked my world when I played them. Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is on PS2, isn't it? I want to say that's PS2. I haven't played Metroid Dread. I've never been great at Metroid. Yeah, we win. So I wasn't expecting to stream today. I said it right at the beginning, but there was nobody here, so nobody heard it. I should probably repeat it now. Thank you, actually. There we go. Did I forget to put one at the very last one? Maybe. So I started streaming today. Wait, why did it do that? That's weird. It left a weird gap. Oh, maybe it's because of this. Anyways, I streamed today because it turns out we have some extra stuff to do. We have to wax the floors at work tonight. So there's a possibility I'm going to be getting home at like 5, 6 in the morning, which means by the time I'm in bed, it's going to be closer to like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And I have to be up at like 10:30 to be ready for the stream tomorrow. There's no way. There's just no way I'm going to do that. Now, if we get home early enough, then I'll be fine. But if not, there's just no way I'm going to be up. So I figured I could stream today because I got to bed at around 5 in the morning last night. I was up at 10 and I just couldn't sleep anymore. My eyes are burning right now actually because I'm so tired. I just couldn't sleep anymore. My back was hurting. So I was like, I might as well stream. And that way, at least if I miss tomorrow, at least I did the stream today. And then hopefully on Wednesday I'll be okay. If not for Wednesday, at least Thursday I'll be okay. That's the plan anyway. But we'll see. But yeah, that's why I'm online today. 11 to 7. That's pretty much what I work now. I start a little bit earlier and I end earlier. Technically, I am like 10 to around 5. But if I work really fast and don't take a break, because that's the difference, is you include breaks and stuff. Breaks, even though third shift, usually your break is just still doing the exact same thing you were doing at work. It's just technically you're on break, so you can eat and kind of slack off. But yeah. Whereas for me, like it's go, go, go. If I stop and take a break, then yeah, I would be there till 5 in the morning every night. But because I don't stop to take a break, I can push myself really hard, and then I end up getting home a bit earlier. So I'm usually home around 3:30, 4 o'clock, which isn't too bad. Some nights, if I'm really smart, I can kind of split up my work, and then I can get home even earlier, which is really nice. Robo Wolf, I normally play by myself. I don't really play with viewers. I have tried that in the past, and it led to some not so good situations. I had one guy who, whoops, can I? I'll try to put a ladder there after. I had one guy who played with me, and then he ended up, well, I don't know if he did it, but it was by weird coincidence that my account got stolen. And PlayStation made me jump through an insane amount of hoops just to get my account back. It was a complete nightmare. They switched my main PlayStation console to theirs, and Sony would not allow me to switch it back. I had to wait the full, I think it was 60 days, 30 or 60 days to switch it back to my account. It was really stupid. Sony's customer service is garbage, by the way. So I kind of got a little burnt that way. And then my brother was still more open to playing with people, and we used to play a lot of Dark Souls together, like my brother and I. And he had a viewer play with us, and then basically the viewer would just run ahead and defeat everything without us, and it would really kill the fun, because, you know, we would be exploring stuff, and then all of a sudden we would get they're in the middle of the boss fight, and then the boss fight was won, and then we'd all get kicked out, and it's like, we didn't even see the boss fight. So I very, very, very quickly changed my mind about playing with viewers. Plus you run into the risk of, like, you know, you don't know who the person is, and you don't know if they're genuinely viewers or if they're trolls just trying to pretend to be viewers just to grief. You know, coming in and like going on voice chat and saying racist things or just being annoying. I had one viewer who I ended up banning. He made about 4 accounts and I had to ban him 4 separate times. And he wasn't being a troll. He was just annoying. That he would spend the whole time on voice chat, literally going, "Hey Retro, hey Retro, hey Retro, hey Retro," and I'd be like, "Yeah." He'd be like, "Hi," and just the whole stream. And so eventually I had to ban him because he would do that. And at first it was like, oh, he's just being really nice. He's probably not, like, you know, fully aware of how uncomfortable he's being. But then he would, like, say racist stuff to people when he would get mad at them, or like hateful things to people when he would get mad at them. And sometimes he'd get mad at them for like no reason whatsoever. Like, he would misunderstand a joke and then he would get mad at them. And so, like, I had to get rid of him for that reason. It was really frustrating. So I really quickly learned not to work with viewers online when it comes to gaming, unless it's like a very specific type of game. Like, I've been considering, if this becomes popular, this whole Minecraft thing for me, not popular as in like I become the next like Wadzi, but I mean popular as in, like, you know, people are enjoying it, I'm enjoying it, then, and I'm starting to make money as a streamer again, then maybe like I'll pay to get a server or whatever, and we can have like a channel server that we can all play on or whatever. But as of right now, I'm just playing on my own. Retro, 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 retro. What? Hi. That's exactly who he was. Yeah, we went, I hope I can get some sleep. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to. It's gonna be a really rough few days. But gotta do what we gotta do. Work is work, you know. But that's why I'm glad that I was able to kind of get home early-ish yesterday. Rhett, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. How are you? Okay, so I've built my wheat farm over there. I'm trying to think of like any other like super important farms. I mean, I could eventually build like a sheep farm with like the sheep shears and is it dispenser that uses those two? I think it's a dispenser for those. Right now, I think I want to do a cow farm. I just cannot remember the complete layout of it. I want to say if I go, I think it's just 2 blocks they need to go into, the cows. Is it 2 or 4? It might be 4. Let's do 2 for now. So the cows would be here, but higher up. So they'd be here. And then the baby cow drops down and then moves forward 1 more. Is that how it would work? I think that's how it would work. Oops. Okay. How about your name? Hello. Exactly, Hyper. Exactly. And like some people are just excited to be able to like talk to their streamer. For guys like him, I don't think he was doing it in like a negative way. I don't think he was trying to be irritating or like do anything harmful. I genuinely think he was just happy to be able to talk to me. And I think a big part of it was just because he had irritated other people. So they had, a lot of them have probably banned him by that point. And so he was just excited that there was a creator who was willing to put up with him, I guess. I think that was a big part of what was going on with that guy. And even then, like I banned him, and like a year and a half later, he came to the channel with a new account and tried to act like nothing happened. And it's just like, no, dude, you were too problematic before. And I'm just not willing to deal with that. So I had to ban him again. Robo, well, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Anybody who's on TikTok and doesn't like using TikTok to watch streams, I'm also live on Twitch and YouTube. That's why you might see me chatting with people and answering stuff that you don't see on chat. I've tried to put it on screen, but sometimes, you know, it's easy to miss. Oh wait, I need a drop. I need a hopper. But yeah, I'm weary about viewers just because I've had some pretty bad experiences in the past. Some of them being worse than others. You know, I actually had one guy come by recently, like really recently, who was one of my first moderators ever. He was a fairly, not important, but like it was important at the time because he was one of my very first moderators, and he was a very active moderator. My very first moderator was Nikki, but he was like the second or third moderator I ever had, and he was very active, and I relied on him a lot. And back then, you know, it was back when I was like streaming to 30, 40 people, 50, 60 sometimes. So my moderators had a much more important job. Now, the people that were my moderators, I haven't removed moderators at all. So they're probably still moderators, but they're not needed because like I've got what, 7 on Twitch and YouTube combined and 2 on TikTok. So we got 9 people. So it's not like we're dealing with a gigantic crowd right now. So I can handle most of it. Okay. So what I want to do, I guess I want to go one up. So maybe I'll do this. Sorry. But yeah, he was one of my first moderators. He was important to me at the time, and he was pretty unstable. There was some issues there. I don't want to speak about what because I don't know what it was, but he was an unstable person, to the point where he would get he fell for somebody, another one of my moderators, on the channel, and it was not a mutual feeling. And the thing is, she was very flirtatious. She was very pretty. She was a young kid, but she was a very pretty young girl. And so she would flirt a lot. And this moderator of mine took it as a sign that she liked him, and she didn't. And so he started to like flirt with her and stuff, but he got very defensive about it. And so like if anybody was nice to her, he would ban them. If anybody was mean to him or poked fun at him for liking her, he would be like verbally abusive. Like I'm talking like call them every name in the book. And it became very problematic. And then she eventually got a boyfriend, and then he ripped into her publicly in my Discord and then in the chat and stuff. And she cried and she was pretty upset. So I had to ban him, because it got even worse than that. This all happened like within like a 48-hour time period. So it was on the days that I was off. I didn't see it until it was too late. He ended up like going to somebody else's chat, because back then on YouTube, the streaming community, there probably still are, but I'm not part of it anymore. The streaming community was a lot closer than what I've experienced on Twitch anyway, to the point where like the same audiences had like a group of streamers that they watched, because we all happened to stream at like overlapping times, just enough that they could go from us to the next. And so this moderator of mine had a complete and utter meltdown on somebody else's channel with this girl, and they all knew he was my moderator, and so it was starting to like spill over to my channel, that it looked like I was endorsing what he was doing, and I didn't want to have anything to do with that. And so I ended up talking to him, and then he apologized and then did it again. And as soon as he did it the second time, I banned him. He made a second account and started like calling me a bunch of names and saying, why is it not automatically doing it? I'm so confused. I think I might need to. And so I banned him. And, oh, whoops. I didn't realize I did 3. Oh well. And so I banned him. And then he private messaged me with a secondary account and just like ripped into me. Like completely ripped into me. And this is when I was like, this is why I banned you, dude. Like, don't contact me again. You're not welcome on my channel anymore. And then a few months later, he tried to apologize. I was like, no, dude, you ripped into me when I had nothing to do with what your problems are. Like, I had nothing to do with it. I'm defending my channel. You didn't put any work into it. I did. And you're hurting my channel. And I'm not going to let some random, 16-year-old wreck my channel. He was like 15 or 16 at the time. Maybe a little bit younger. I don't know. This is before I really understood that you needed an older moderator. Anyways, the reason I'm bringing it up is because he randomly appeared on my channel really recently and came on and said hi. And I said hi, I greeted him, and I was like, that's great. And he told me who he was. And it was just very much getting like a deer caught in the headlights situation where I didn't know how to react, because I'm over it in the sense of like, whatever, I'm not going to hold any ill will to him, but I still don't want him on my channel. You know what I mean? Especially now that I've got such a big following in comparison to then. Back then I had like less than 1,000 followers. Now I've got something to lose now. So I was like, I don't want this guy on my channel. So I was polite to him, and he talked a little bit and then he left. But it was just really shocking how some of these people will still show up afterwards. It was really wow. I don't know, Hyper. A lot of this music was around when I first started playing it. There were a few songs that I haven't recognized that over the last like 6 months I've heard for the first time, but I don't know when they were introduced, and maybe I just had never heard them, but I don't know. RoboWolf, you played with one guy who was really bad. That's the worst, because it can ruin your fun. You know what I mean? Okay, so what I'm doing here, if you don't, do a lot of redstone, I'm building a cow farm, like a meat farm, basically. So what happens here is, yeah, 1 block is fine. So basically, right now, this is where the baby cows are going to land, and they're going to move forward and fall on top of this hopper. And then I wait for them to grow. And once they grow, you kill them with lava. They get cooked and instantly go into the treasure chest, which allows me to collect meat fairly easily. This sign is going to stop the lava from falling into the hopper and just completely burning the cow. Because baby cows don't give you meat, but the adult cows do. So by doing it this way, the baby cow won't get burned. So if I do a whole bunch of them and only some of them have grown, when I push it, it'll only kill the adults and not the babies. The lava will come out and stop because of this sign. And then that will cause the baby to burn, or the adult to burn, without killing the baby, basically. And so I am slowly working away at this. Okay. So this is where the babies are going to fall. I do have water. Cool. I don't have lava, though. I'm going to have to head back to get lava. Or actually, this is... Hold on. Now I'm confusing myself here. Damn it, I fell. Hold on. I confused myself. Or is it just we put another sign here, I think. I think we're good. Get out of here. So water is going to go here and stop there. So the baby cow is going to fall and get pushed forward and fall down that hole. This sign, let's put it on the other side just in case, because I don't know if it being in front is going to be an issue or being there. I can't remember. No one, hello, hi, how are you? Welcome. But yeah, Hyper, Minecraft has seriously some of, and it's not even underrated. I can't even say underrated because everybody knows how beautiful it is. Minecraft has some of the most beautiful music. Like it's such beautiful music. Okay. So the baby cow falls into here, right? And it's gonna fall into here. So if I... Oh crap, okay. I was just testing the water anyway, so that's fine. Let's dig here. Well, how much? Okay. So for those watching who haven't been here from the beginning of me doing this, this is partial experiment. I've done this farm many, many times, but this is definitely a partial experiment for me because I don't remember the exact layout. So the baby cup falls there, and we're gonna go up a little bit higher. Whoops, a little bit higher here. Right? And then here, I want to say... that something's wrong with this. Something's wrong with this. What is wrong with it? Is it just not wide enough? No, it is wide enough because it's just 2 trapdoors that I use, so it's not that. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. I need slabs. That's what the problem is. I need slabs. Yeah, it's sad music. It's peaceful music. It's really basic music. There's nothing like complex about the music that's in here. But it's written in such a way that it doesn't have anything extra because it doesn't need anything extra. It's really, really beautiful music. Like it's done so well. And it's honestly like mind-blowing how this music just like hits all the right spots. You know what I mean? Like it can instantly bring back memories, even if you haven't heard it in forever. I don't know how many I need, so let's take 12. Yeah, a lot of the music is pretty much the same. It's been around for a really long time, but I want to say they did add some newer music, but I don't know. It's hard for me to judge because one, I haven't been in the Minecraft realm for very long. Like I've only been playing Minecraft for a little bit over a year and a half, a little bit over a year and a half. I've been playing Minecraft. So I'm not like super well experienced with Minecraft music. But it's okay. Now what I don't remember is if this is supposed to be up by 1. I think it's just slab. For now, just so I can get up here. Anyways, I'm not like super well experienced with Minecraft, so I can't speak for sure. And one of the big issues that I have is Nora is always, she's one of those kids like, duh, didn't you know? And so when I mentioned the music to her, she's like, Dad, that's been the music for forever. Didn't you know that? And I was like, I think it's different. And she's like, no. I was like, okay. So I don't know for sure if the music is actually different or not. You know what I mean? Crap. I'm out of regular stone. I don't want to build it out of different stone. Let's go get some more cobblestone. Hello, Tyler. How are you, man? How's work? I'm doing okay. Just here hanging out. Just building some farms. Or trying to remember how to build farms. I'm not being very successful right now. My memory sucks when it comes to this stuff. And it's sucking even more because I really don't remember any of it. Oh, I could just go in there and get some lava. I don't have to go all the way back home. I was thinking I was going to have to go all the way back home, but I don't have to. Yeah, depending on the realm you're in and depending even on like the biome you're in, apparently it's slightly different. The music that will play. If you're underground, it'll be slightly different versus if you're up above ground. If you're in the nether, obviously it's slightly different as well. There are definitely some things that affect the music. Okay. So now that this is here, whoops. if now I should be able to take this glass and do that, right? Yeah, there we go. Oh, I didn't want 3, I only wanted 2. I guess I could just do this, right? And that's 2 for the 2 cows. They fall down and they go there. Then pretty sure this is it. Right? And then I can waterlog. Crap, I didn't bring enough water. And I still, oh no, I did build my infinite water source. Should be over here. Perfect. Oh man, those days, I'm always so torn about those days, because like part of me is like, it's really nice to have a day to be kind of lazy and not have a lot of work to do. At the same time, those lazy days can really make the day drag, and it's really frustrating, and I hate that. So like, I'm always torn about it, right? But hopefully it's not like a super drag on day for you. Like it's just one of those days where it's like, it's not bad. Okay, so now we can get up here. So what's gonna happen now, this is how the farm works. The cows fall into here, and then they're gonna bounce around, and then I can feed them from down below. Once they're fed, they'll have their babies. The babies will fall through the glass down to the bottom, and then they'll get pushed forward in the next thing of water, and they'll fall. See, I can feed the cows from here, and then the baby cows will fall down there and slide down and fall down here. And then once the baby cows grow up, I'm going to open here, which should be the dispenser. Yep. And then I can push a button and the dispenser goes off. And then lava comes out, and this sign, I don't know if I might have to move the sign to this glass instead, but whatever. The lava comes out, and then it kills the adult cows, which will then be picked up by the hoppers, and then I can open this, and then I will have my meat. And that should be it. Now I'm going to have to go hunt for some cows. You needed a break? That's always... It's always nice to kind of have those moments where you can just kind of relax with a break. I totally feel those for sure. Yeah, Hyper, and that's the thing is, like, if you listen to this, there's not a whole bunch of instruments here, and there's not really a lot of notes being played. Oh, I hate when this happens. Let me sleep. But in its simplicity, it allows your brain to attach to the song very quickly, and then you have a bunch of instant memories. Like, there are certain songs that I hear from Minecraft. I've been watching a lot of those commentary channels. You know, those channels that talk about, like, the rise and fall of some Minecraft YouTuber, or the rise and fall of some celebrity. I've been watching a lot of those. And one of the things that I've watched a lot of is like the Minecraft people that have turned out to not be very good people. And at the end, they always summarize, you know, they had the most success and they destroyed it all, blah, blah, blah. And they play like one of these Minecraft songs in the background. And instantly it fills me with emotion, but not because I care about the creator, because I didn't watch any of the creators that I've watched about, like Sky Does Minecraft. Never even heard of the guy until I saw this drama thing. Lion Maker Studios, something like that it's called. Never heard of them either until I started watching the drama thing. So a lot of these Minecraft creators I've never heard of. Like, I watch Mumbo Jumbo, Wadzi, and Grian. Like, those are the ones that I watch. And so, oh, get out of here, pig. It's okay. You're not gonna bug me right now, are you? Whoa! Jesus Christ, that scared me. Oh, that scared me. I forgot that these guys were here. And so I watch it and they play this music, and I don't have any connection to these creators, but it instantly makes me feel emotional because the song brings back a ton. Oh, I'm in so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble, and I don't know where the ramp is that I made. Over there. Okay. Get up. Go, go, go. Get out of here. Let me in. I can't see. I can't see. I can't see. Okay. Whew. We're good. We're good. I know I have very good armor. I shouldn't panic, but I still panicked. I don't want to steal that lava, though. Damn it. I'll go down and just dig for a bit. I'm sure I'll find some. See, and I never watched Sky Does Minecraft. That guy has some major issues that he needs to get help with. Because yeah, everything that I've heard is that his content was good, but it was him as a human was not good. And so like he needs to get some help for sure, which is really too bad. Crapola. Is there lava here anywhere? No lava, just dead ends, lots of falling and dying. Wait, lava. Crap, it's just one single block. It's not actual lava I can pick up. Is there access to that lava down there? There's so much lava and I can't get any of it. Alright, RoboWolf, see you later. I probably won't be live. I'm going to be done in about 20 minutes, but I will be live sometime later this week. Hopefully I see you again. Yeah, Hyper, he needs some major help, and it's from what I can see, it seems like what he's struggling with is going to make it hard for him to get help, because I don't think he'll ever understand the help he needs. You know, it's just part of the mental illness. There are certain mental illnesses that they just misunderstand the actual concept of what their illness is. There's a lot of mental illnesses that when you start feeling better, you almost convince yourself, the illness convinces you that that's all you needed and that you're fine now, when you're really not. That the help you're gonna get is supposed to be for life, not just for, you know, a couple weeks and then you're fine. I don't think he'll ever achieve that. But it is what it is. But anyway, they play those songs at the end of their videos about like how they ruined their careers or whatever, and all I think about is all the feelings that I felt while playing Minecraft. I have zero connection to the creator. It's just that feeling of like loneliness whenever you get lost, like I am right now. Or that feeling of despair when something goes wrong, or that curiosity you feel when you're exploring in Minecraft. Like, it's the music, the simplicity can instantly put you in that spot again, which is, it's not very common to have that happen in games. You know, there are games that will give you a lot of nostalgia when you hear them, like Mario music. I hear that and I feel a lot of nostalgia, but it's not the same as what I've felt while playing Minecraft. Damn it. Where was the thing I dug out? I don't even know where I dug out from. Crap. It's up there. How do I get up there now? Oh, I screwed up. Okay, well, I guess I gotta find a way up. And it's weird because, like, with Hyper, I'm responding to you. It's weird because, like, the truth is that it's not really known whether it's them getting famous at a young age that made them have the mental illness issues, or if having the mental illness issues is what drove them to push themselves hard enough to get famous. Do you know what I mean? Like, did the fame break their head, or did their broken head help them be famous? Because there's a certain need when you're being an artist. There's a certain level of work, of dedication. Chanito, thank you so much for that follow. I really appreciate that. Welcome to our little channel, our little family, our little corner of the internet. Welcome. There's a certain level of work you have to put in as a content creator in order to make it, right? And for the people who make it into big levels, I'm not saying all of them are this way, but like there's almost an obsession that is needed. You know, like if you listen to Mr. Beast talk about how he grew his channel, he doesn't talk casually about it. Like, he talks at an insanely high level of thinking, right? Like he's very much, You have to look at the analytics. You have to like try to keep retention and all this stuff, but stuff that the average person wouldn't really consider when they're creating a channel. Like they're just trying to figure out what's fun, right? Whereas Mr. Beast is really looking at it in a very analytical way, and it almost speaks to like an unnatural level of curiosity in a way. And so it's like, is that due to like having a different way of perceiving the world? And so does that different perception, is that what makes you, oh crap, I didn't bring any gold stuff. Is that what makes you unique and makes you blow up? Is the fact that you can look at the world like that? And then in the case of somebody like Sky, their mental illness allowed them to think that way, which in turn is what made them famous. Do you know what I mean? Or is it that they were just an average person, and the amount of pressure being that famous brings will cause him to break no matter how healthy he is? Or they, right? They go by they now, I think. So it's an interesting. I'm wondering how many psychologists have already started looking at stuff like that, like running research in that vein, or if they haven't yet, how many younger people now who watch that stuff happen are going to grow up to be psychologists and run that kind of study because they did see it hands-on, right? Yeah, and like that's the easiest way to look at it, right? Is like, well, you get an ego and you almost start to believe you're too good, and it's a very fair assessment that you're making, right? Like it very, very well could be that, because you see it on Disney and stuff, like the Disney stars, the kids, they're not the ones that were driven to be famous. Most of the time it's their parents that pushed them to it. So my argument doesn't really hold water when you're looking at those people as well. And a lot of the kid stars end up in the same place as Sky, where they very much think that they can do no wrong and that everybody is out to get them, even though they're the ones that are the toxic ones, you know? So it's very hard to fully know. But again, it's online is such a different world that the level of drive some of these people have to grow the way they have and to have the following that they have with zero help, like doing it all on their own, it can very quickly, who's shooting at me? There you go. It can very quickly differentiate between, an average mind and a very different way of looking at the world type of mind. Okay, so that's the tunnel I made that goes down. So I think that's where my portal is. Crap, and I don't have any elytra, whatever. Crap. How the hell do I get down there? But yeah, it's a whole interesting topic, right? Because there are moments for me where I really, and I'm not saying I'm anywhere near as big as Sky was or is, I guess. I'm not famous by any means. But I've got a big enough following that a lot of people, I'm already outside of what a lot of people will ever experience. And I will never be able to fully explain how it feels. I just recently I had somebody comment on one of my videos where somebody was trolling. And the comment, it was them just trying to be helpful, just saying, ignore the troll. They're just trying to get at you. And they were absolutely right. But it's a double-edged sword, right? Like I have to almost feed the trolls sometimes because they're the ones that are actually going to drive my views up. And so you almost have to like egg them on to get the views. At the same time, it's very hard to ignore trolls all the time because the people telling me to ignore it or whatever, they don't always see the level that I see. Right? Like some people, and usually people that don't follow me or have followed me, but they don't really look at my channel. Is this it? This isn't it. Dang it. Dang it. This isn't where I wanted to go. Okay. I guess we just gotta look up to see where I built my tunnel that leads up to my... Uh-oh! No! It's over. Did I seriously just survive that? I just survived that. I can't believe I just survived that. I thought it was over. I have some backup stuff. It's not fully enchanted the way this stuff is, but holy crap, I can't believe I survived that. That was intense. That was really, really intense. Oh. Okay. I'm good. We survived. I can't believe I survived that. I cannot believe I survived that. Right, we win? Right? Oh my god, I can't believe it. Whew. I tried to stay calm. That's what saved me, is I tried to stay calm. All because I lost my stupid nether portal. Ouch. I thought that was it, but it's not it. So if that's not it, where the hell is it? Anyways, the people that tell me to like ignore the trolls, one of the things that happens that they don't see is it's very easy to ignore the trolls when you see a couple of messages and that's it, right? Like if you're watching my videos as a viewer and you see a couple people troll me, it's very easy to say ignore it because you only see the couple of messages that troll me. Where it gets hard, and this isn't just like, oh, it's my weakness. This is why a lot of people break when it comes to trolling. Is it's harder to ignore when you get, you know, 100 alerts, and out of the 100 alerts, maybe 70 of them are troll messages. Eventually, it eats away at you. And if you're having a really bad day to begin with, and then a troll comes in and says something stupid, it gets to you really quickly. It can irritate you really, really deeply, because it's not just one simple message. It's many messages. And so it's a lot harder to ignore when it's so many on a daily basis, right? Like I made my video on DK Oldies, and that video is a couple months old now, and I'm still getting people egging me on in the comments in that. And most of the time they are butthurt fans who are literally writing their own reality just because somebody said something mean that hurt their feelings. And it's 2 months old. Like the video is old. Or I'll get somebody that will reply to me from a video that's, you know, 6 months old, and the video is no longer relevant because the information has come out and it's different than what I originally reported. But it's been, you know, 6 months or whatever, and they'll message as if like I'm an idiot because I got the information wrong, and it's like, dude, you're the idiot. The video's 2 months old, 3 months old, 6 months old. Of course it's not relevant anymore. You know, or like I'll make a follow-up video where I explain what I've said, and then somebody will comment, and then they'll comment in the vein of like you're a liar type of thing. You know what I mean? Like I did a video about the one guy who got arrested and went to jail here in Canada for pirating Nintendo games. And the amount of people that commented, and I made a video on it, the amount of people that commented, it's guys like this that don't give the full story. They say that he got arrested for pirating, but he also was doing malware and wire fraud and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I said he got arrested for pirating, but the whole video is about him having to pay Nintendo money. It has nothing to do with everything else. Like, yeah, he did all that stuff, but my video's not about that stuff, right? It's about specifically why he owes Nintendo money. That's all it is. But they'll come in and they'll troll and they'll talk to you like you're an idiot. And it's like, you're the idiot who couldn't spend 5 minutes just looking at the very next video. I covered exactly what you're saying. So it's really hard to deal with that at my level. It's not a very big level. And now imagine somebody like Sky with over 1 million followers, and YouTube can be quite toxic in the comment department. And so it's very understandable for somebody to have a complete break when people start to pile on. It can be really hard. It can be really, really hard. Yeah, the complaint calls. It can be really hard because people don't see the amount that happens, right? They just see the 1 or 2. And so it's what happened. Oh my God, I can't find my stupid portal. I gotta get going in 10 minutes. If I don't find it, I might have to just like dig a hole and save and then come back to it next time I stream. Can I go out this way now? I was just trying to go around the lava. Uh-oh. I hear a piggy. Get out of here, piggies. I'm just trying to find my house. I'm just trying to go wee 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 all the way home. Leave me alone. Get out of here, you jerk. That's it. But yeah, it's sometimes it's just the amount. It's not what the person is saying, it's just the amount of comments you get. Like there was one where I got piled on like really bad. Like that was probably one of my worst experiences as a content creator, where somebody made fun of my nose and I responded to them. And then like I just got piled on. Like I'm talking in about an hour I got over 100 messages, and most of them had to do with making fun of my looks. And then every other comment was, dude, just ignore these people. Like they're losers, ignore them, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, it's easy for you, but like in an hour, I've gotten 100 comments about my nose. And the hard part is most of my comments tend to be positive, and I don't want to ignore my comments because, you know, people are going out of their way to message and they want to talk. And I take pride in interacting with my comment section and like being able to talk to people that enjoy my content. And so like, it's really hard to ignore those people because a couple of dicks wanted to make fun of me. And it's not fair to everybody else that I'm going to have to ignore them because some people just decided that it was okay to make fun of somebody for the way they look. So it's understandable when somebody like Sky completely has a breakdown. Now, I think he has a lot more than just pressure. I think he has some like proper diagnosable issues, and I can't diagnose because I'm not obviously a therapist or anything, but it's just a lot of the stuff he did was not something that a fully healthy person with all their faculties would do. Working at the government now, I'm a first name basis with the trolls. Okay, I cannot find my farm or my portal. Hold on, it's got to be this way because I want to say that it was at 1900 this way. 1900 is the number that I remember seeing. So it's got to be over there somewhere. I'm completely disoriented right now. Oh, this isn't good. Yeah, absolutely, we would. And like the logical part of me totally gets it, but like I said, it's when it's so many. That's where it gets hard. It's the amount. It's the amount, or like when you get somebody who like, and that this probably has to do more with the spectrum than anything else. Is when they lie about what you said that you didn't say. I think that's the part that I struggle with the most is, you know, I'll say something and they'll come back with like, oh, so you mean this? And it's not what I said at all. Like the DK Oldies video, the amount of fans that come in and will comment something along the lines of, keep crying. If you don't want to pay that much, then don't. You're the idiot who paid. And it's like, I'm not the one crying. Like, I'm not saying, hey, I hate DK Oldies because they did this. I'm saying, hey, someone's gonna sue DK Oldies because of this. Like, I'm reporting what somebody else is doing. No, I'm not doing it, first of all. But the second part of it is there it is, we found it. The second part of it is the whole aspect of, I'm not talking about the price. Like, the whole lawsuit is about they're saying things are refurbished and they're not, allegedly. Like that's what the whole video is about. Me bringing up the price was just kind of like an extra detail. It's almost like if you are talking about like going to a restaurant, let's say, and the restaurant's food isn't very good, and you're going to talk about how it wasn't very good, And then you bring up, it's like, you know, I went to this restaurant and the food was bad. It was such bad food. And on top of that, the server was rude. The rude server is just kind of like, you know, it was already bad enough. And there's this extra thing too. That's what it was, right? It's like they're being sued for their whole refurbishing issue. And like they already charge a lot of money. And yet they're not even doing that part. Like that's all it was. And the amount of people that'll come in and be like, so you're just complaining, you're crying because they're charging too much money. It's like, no, dude, no, that's not what I'm talking about. That was one sentence in the whole thing. The whole rest of the video is the part. So like when you have a bunch of troll comments and then they're flat out lying about what you said, it gets really, really hard to just kind of ignore it completely. You know what I mean? There we go. We found it. I walked past it. That's okay. Oh, that's scary. And it was kind of how I fell into the trap of the call out content that I used to make, where I would call out toxic content creators, or like I would call out like not scam content creators, but like the content creators that were very clearly pretending to be good people just to get more views. Like they didn't actually care about what they were talking about. Do you know what I mean? I fell into that because of the lying. Like that's what really bothered me, because I would see newer creators. Is this TikTok? Yeah, TikTok. Well, it's happening on YouTube right now. On my YouTube short that I did is happening. Like right now, for some reason, YouTube has now started pushing that video, so I'm getting comments almost every day about it. Like even if I go to my alerts right now on YouTube. Get out of here. So my alerts right now. Somebody commented, "Why does it look like you've been crying?" Some people, and there's a lot of people that agree with me. Like this guy, DK Oldies, needs to look up what refurbishing means. I've never had issues with DK Oldies, so stop crying. Someone, this one's a joke. It's a joke troll. Someone's mad they didn't get a keychain with their order. I like their videos. They have a good vibe. Stop hating. Somebody else was like, while I don't defend them completely, if you paid too much for it, that's your problem. And it's like, it gets to you. Like all my comments right now are about DK Oldies on YouTube. It was on TikTok before, but I'm still getting random ones on TikTok that'll come up. But it gets to you. So on TikTok, I did call out content where I would make videos on creators that were using TikTok to promote their channels, but were doing it in like a not upfront way. Do you know what I mean? Like it'd be the whole, well, if you follow me, I'll support you. And like, we're here to like support each other. Let's have a supportive stream. But they're not actually supporting people. They're just using it as a way to get followers. And then they would follow you, sure, but they wouldn't actually watch your stream. So it's like, they're not actually supporting you. And the truth is that once they get, you know, because they'd be like, drop your name in the comments so I could follow you and you could follow me. But then you look at their comments and there's like 1,000 comments. You're going to tell me they're following 1,000 people and they're watching 1,000 people? 100% no. 100% they're not watching 1,000 people that they just followed. And so it just becomes very scummy. So I would call people out like that because it really bothered me that people were willing to lie to get some clout. And if you're willing to lie to get clout, whatever, it's not my responsibility to fix it. But where it bothered me was that it was usually taking advantage. Okay, so that didn't work. It was usually taking advantage of creators. Oh crap, did I use a dispenser? Is that a dispenser or a dropper? No, it's a dispenser. They would be taking advantage of newer creators who didn't really know what they were doing and didn't know they were being taken advantage of. And so like it would bother me because these poor creators, they were just trying to, you know, get some help. And this other creator is just taking advantage of them and they don't care. And like it would give all of us creators a bad name. So that would just frustrate me. But I eventually moved away from it because it was pointless. They were going to keep doing what they were doing, and then they would play the victim, And in the end, I was the bad guy. So it just wasn't worth doing anymore. I'll still call it out once in a while when something really gross happens. Okay, so that worked. Rice, thank you so much for the heart. I appreciate that. Yeah, Hyper. I was trying to get it to block it in this way. I don't know if the cow is going to fall down. That's my only question. We'll see. We'll see in a second. But this is it. This is the cow farm. So the cows I'm going to bring up there. So this is how it works. Let me break this down and then I'm pretty much done for the stream. I'm going to bring cows up here. Actually, I should probably prepare the delivery method. So basically, cows come up here, right? And they're going to fall into this hole. And now I'm going to do this because they'll only follow you to a certain degree. So if I put this way out here, right? Cows will walk up and they'll fall into this hole. Now the way they're going to fall into this hole is by a couple of trap doors. So let's get the trap doors built. Geronimo! You make some weird noises, Panda Man. Make some weird panda man. Yeah, I know they can't stand on the sign. I don't know if they're gonna like slide down and then the sign is gonna make them like not actually go over the edge. Instead, they're just gonna stand up above. But I think they're fine, right? They'll fall right through it, right? Okay, so now I need some trap doors. This will be the last thing I do, and then I gotta get out of here. Okay, I need some trap doors. I just need 2 of them, which is perfect. So basically, we did 2 farms, which is good. It would have been quicker if I wouldn't have gotten lost. So we've got the wheat farm here, which obviously is growing wheat. I push the button and then the water will knock the wheat down, which is exactly what we want. Save ourselves the hassle of having to actually farm everything, except I still have to plant it, but that's fine. And then I come up here, the cows come up here, and then there. So now what I do is I do this, and then the cows will actually fall down there. I wanted this one side. Okay, perfect. And so with these trap doors, I open them and the cows will still walk towards me and fall in that hole. And then I will have some cows down there. Then I can just close this to keep them safe or whatever. And then I just feed them. And then as they breed, they will drop their babies down there and then I can cook them and good to go. So that's it. Now, not tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. But next time I stream, we're going to go cow hunting, which I don't know how hard that's going to be, but we'll go cow hunting. We'll find a couple of cows to shove in here so we can have, and it'll work as a secondary leather farm. So we'll have a leather and beef to take care of. And then here we'll have the wheat to feed the cows for the cow farm. I might want to do a sheep farm just so I can have cotton or wool, sorry. So maybe just do a few different sheep in different colors so I can have like a wool farm. I'm definitely going to want to do like a sugarcane farm, and I'm probably going to end up doing one of these, a cactus farm, because the cactus farm can turn into I can turn cactus into bone meal, which will then allow me to grow my farms and do that kind of stuff to make it a little bit easier. And then that's it. Then once that's all done, we'll have to go and hunt for some endermen so we can get some ender pearls, so then we can make the eyes of ender and then we can go fight the ender dragon. Obviously I'm not going to end the game there whenever I get to that point. I will eventually do things like we'll go look for like one of those water temples and go do some water temple exploration. We'll set some random goals to do throughout the streams. Like I said, I'm not going to do this long term. I might like add this as like a once a week thing so we can play Minecraft once a week. But that's kind of where we are. I still have to complete this place. I'm going to dig down to make a basement. I'm going to make a second floor so we can have 3 floors. And that'll be that. All right. I know. I wish dispensers could plant. I wish there was a way to plant stuff. It would make life so much easier. Oh, well. Okay. I got to get out of here. I got to go pick up Nora from school. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I'm sorry that it was a surprise stream, that I wasn't, you know, up front with being live on a day that I'm not supposed to be. It was a last-minute decision this morning. I will try my best to be home early enough to stream tomorrow. If I can't, then I probably won't be back till Thursday. And then we'll do Thursday, Friday stream, and it should be fine. At least that's where we stand. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you for listening to me rant on. It's definitely... It's nice for me to be able to shut my brain off and just kind of enjoy something mindless like Minecraft and just play and have fun. So yeah, that's it. Thank you everybody for all the love and the support. I really appreciate it. And TikTok, I will see you in a few days. I got to get some videos up, so hopefully I'll do that soon. See you later, TikTok. Live and goodbye. It's always hard for me. I say goodbye to TikTok and then I realize it's like 3 clicks to actually shut it off. All right, we went. See you later. Hyper, thank you for being here. Everybody else who is over on YouTube and Twitch, I appreciate all the love and the support. I will see you all in a day or two. I don't know, whenever I'm live. All right.